Hello creeps, Andy here, and today I wanted to talk about horror book bingo. So at the beginning of the year, I made this bingo card. Let me scooch on over. And then I just never thought about it again. And so the other day I'm like, well, we're halfway through the year. I should probably see where I am at the bingo. And then, yeah, we'll make a video. We'll talk about what we've checked off from bingo. If you guys are playing along, let me know what you've gotten done so far and what you have left. But these are the categories of bingo that I have done. Now, two things. One, these aren't all horror books, and so I don't know if I will exchange them for horror books later, but I don't always just read horror. So I think it's fine if I use books other than just horror books, and you know, same with you. And number two, I'm not going to go into detail on the plot of these books. I'm just going to probably give you maybe a one-word synopsis for each one because we have quite a bit to go through. Okay, so let's start 2026 bingo. Our first category is a book over 500 pages. This one is pretty funny because I've read multiple books that are 490 pages, but not 500 yet. I have not broken over the 500, so this one cannot fill out yet. Next, I have a book published in 2026, and I did in fact read the Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre by Philip Fracassi. This one, I think the title kind of tells you what it is. There's a massacre at a retirement home. Great book, but yes, I was able to check off a 2026 read because of this book. Next up, I have book that became a movie. I actually did read The Housemaid by Frida McFadden, and then me and some friends went and saw the movie as well. And this is about a woman who gets hired to be the housemaid at a family, and the wife is kind of nuts, and the job is a little bit more than she expected it to be. Next up, we have finished a book series. Now this one, I wasn't sure what to put for this because I did finish Darcy Coates' Silence in the Shadows. This is the fourth in the Black Winter series, but I didn't read the other ones this year. So I don't know, I wasn't sure if this one counted for it or not. It's about a woman named Claire and a man named Doran, and it's kind of like apocalyptic. The world is kind of ending and they have to try to figure out what's going on. And each book is something very different, and this is kind of the wrap up. They go back to where it all began. So I do have those. However, I also finished the Sworn Soldier series. This is by T. Kingfisher, and these are, honestly, they're all a little bit different. The first one is actually a remake of The Fall of the House of Usher by Edgar Allan Poe. The second one is some sort of paralysis demon sort of thing. The third one is more like cosmic horror. So they each have something quite different in them. But this one I thought would be good because I did finish the entire series this year. They're really short books, but I just finished the third one. So I feel like maybe that one makes a little bit more sense to put in this category. 4 takes place during Halloween. I haven't read a book that takes place during Halloween yet, and I probably won't until September, October. I kind of made this so that we can do something in those months as well. There's one for Christmas that you'll see coming up in a little. So I'm saving this one for an October read. I kind of have my eye on what I'm gonna read for this one, but I haven't read it yet. Same with witches. I have not read a witch book, but I know what book I think will check that box off, but I have not read it yet. Next up, we have body horror. I had to pick Blood Rot Baby. This book was so fun. This is by Wendy Dalrymple. This is just body horror to the max, and I enjoyed every second of it. This is just about a woman who's a sugar baby, and she comes across another woman who seems to put some kind of curse on her, and her body is actually falling apart. It's just a blast. Okay, next up we have unreliable narrator. So I do think that I've read some books with unreliable narrators in them, but I don't think I've read them to the extent that I was thinking when I made this category. So I'm gonna hold off on this one actually. I wanna read a book where I just do not trust the narrator, and I don't think I've read a book like that this year. So yeah, that one we're leaving blank so far. This next one, published in the 70s or 80s, I do technically, oh wait, did I skip one? I did skip one, Blood on the Cover. So I read The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. I feel like this is a pretty good book to pick for that category because it has blood sprayed edges, it has blood on the cover, and then it has a really nice inside cover too. This one was fine. It's about a woman who's a lawyer and her husband gets arrested for the murder of his mistress. And then she takes on the case because she's kind of the best lawyer around to try to see if she can prove his innocence. This was actually my book club pick with my friends for this month. And then all of them went on to read the second one. So now I'm reading the second one so that we could talk about that one during book club too. But anyway, so yeah, blood on the cover. I feel like that was a pretty good pick for blood on the cover. You can't get bloodier than that. Next we have published in the 70s or 80s. So this one I might change out. I'm not sure because it is technically a horror bingo. So I don't know if I can use a non-horror book because some of these, you know, like that one, it's not horror, but there's still blood. It's still a thriller. It's still spooky-ish, you know? But for this one, I read If on a Winter's Night, a Traveler by Italo Calvino. And this one is just the weirdest book, maybe. Not the weirdest that I've read, but it is very strange. It's about these people that are reading books where the story stops at the climax and then a new story begins. And then there's characters that are trying to go to the bookstore to figure out what's wrong with the book because the book keeps changing. It's a very strange narrative. It was published in 79, but then it was published in 81 in English. So it does hit that category. There are little cat teeth marks all over this one. Apparently this one tasted good to Morella. But I don't know if I'm gonna 100% leave this one until the end of the year, just because it's not a horror book, it's not a spooky book. So you guys tell me, does something like this work, or do I need to read horror books for horror book bingo? I don't know. You let me know. Next we have Translated. This is Murder Most Serene by Gabrielle Whitcop. This is about a man whose wives continue dying in very mysterious circumstances. Her writing is just phenomenal. It is translated. It is a French book, so that one definitely solves that box in bingo. This one too, I technically do have a book that fits this category where our main character is a writer. I did read Dan Simmons' A Winter Haunting. It wasn't exactly what I was picturing though. Yes, the main character is a writer, but he doesn't really write all that much in the book. And so I don't know, I was thinking of something a little bit different. So again, this one's kind of tentatively there, but if I read a story where the main character is a writer and that plays more of a role in the story, I think I will change this one out. But this was the fourth in the series of the Seasons series. The first one is Summer of Night. Is that what it's called? I always get them confused. The first one was about a group of kids that try to stop this kind of monster from taking over their town. This is one of the children who grew up, and he's a writer, and he actually goes back to the town to stay in the house of his friend that he had when he was younger, and he's attempting to write a story, and he's just kind of like getting away from his family and stuff and going to stay there. So yes, he's a writer, but really the only reason why it's brought up is because that's why he's in this town and decided to stay in the town. But it's much more about his past and his relationships with people and things like that than it is about his writing career. So it fits, but I don't know if I'm 100% happy with that being in that category. I have not read a book that takes place during Christmas. I will definitely be saving this for November, December. Last book, all I read were Christmas books. I kind of put all the horror books on hold and I just read cutesy Christmas books for the month, and I actually really enjoyed it. So I think I'll probably do the same this year as well. So yeah, nothing Christmassy just yet. We're gonna have to wait till December. And so I'm thinking that we'll do this now since June just finished. We're halfway through the year. And then I think later on in the year, either late December or early January, we'll revisit these and see if I can get full bingo. Oh yeah, because if you haven't realized yet, I'm trying to hit every square. I don't just want one line of bingo. I'm trying to hit it all, baby. A new author to me. Yes, I read Nocticadia by Carrie Lake, and I actually really liked this one. Was not expecting to because of what the story it sounded like. It was like a dark, smutty kind of book, and I guess it really was, but there's not too much smut in this one, and it's a lot spookier than I honestly thought it would be. Never judge a book by its cover, never judge a book by its synopsis, you know? And that's why I'm really enjoying my book club with my friends, because they all like books so different than I do, but it's really given me an opportunity to read books that I would have never picked up this book and read it, and I actually really, really adored it. But this one is about a woman whose mother passed away, and all these worms crawled out of her mouth after she passed away. And so she had been told that she was crazy, or she was just processing her grief, and that sort of explained away these weird worms that were crawling out of her. She ends up writing something for one of her science classes about a fictional disease, and then somebody in Nocticadia, this really fancy, gothic, cool, really cool school, I mean, I would love to go here, actually gives her a scholarship for the year, and she meets her professor and she's kind of crushing on him. You do have a little bit of smut in that capacity, but also the book is just freaking creepy and spooky, and it's gothic and it's dark academia, and it's just there's a lot going on in this book that I really enjoyed. So yeah, that was an author that was new to me that I really enjoyed, and I would probably pick up another one of her books because I liked that one so much, and the writing was just great. I really liked this one. I was very impressed. Bought because of the cover. Why, yes, I do have one of those. I bought Decomposition Book by Sarah Van Oss. So the cover really intrigued me, along with the synopsis of a woman finding a dead corpse in the woods and almost befriending her. So this one will be the wrap up in my next video, so I won't go into detail right now. But yeah, the cover I really loved. Gothic horror. So this one I haven't marked off quite yet, but we are reading The Monk for book club this month, and that is a gothic horror book, so that one will be checked off as soon as I finish that one. I haven't quite finished that yet though. Next we have Eyeballs on the cover, and this one I read on Kindle, and it's called Apparitions, but let me find the author's name for you. At first I thought, oh my gosh, I haven't read one book with eyeballs on the cover, and then I saw Apparitions. I'm like, okay, that seems a little bit more like me to have at least one book. I'll have to step up my eyeball on the cover game though. Apparitions by Adam Pottle. This was our book club pick a few months back, and it's about this young boy who's deaf and kind of the abuse that he suffers from his family, and then he goes on to meet another guy, his first ever another deaf person, but that guy doesn't seem to be any better for him. And then it's a very sad story, but it does have eyeballs on the cover. Next, we have a vampire book. I have not read this year a vampire book, so that one's still open. I'm not sure what I'm gonna read for this one. If you guys have vampire suggestions, or if you guys have already knocked off this book off your bingo, let me know what you read for that one. Isolated Location. I actually have two, and I can't pick which one fits in there because I love these both so much. But I have The Caretaker by Marcus Cleaver, and I have Her Last Breath by Taylor Adams. These are both perfect for this category. So The Caretaker is about a young girl who goes into the woods. She's in this isolated house in the woods, and she has to follow these rules to take care of this house while the owner is out. And then Her Last Breath is about two women who go caving together, and they end up being followed by a man into the caves, and only one of them makes it out. It is so good. It's so good. Both of these are so good, but I just read this one. This one might fit the isolated location a little bit more because although that house is isolated, it's still a house in a neighborhood, you know? So maybe this one takes the cake for the isolated location. I mean, you don't get much more isolated than the bottom of a cave, you know? So yeah, it'll have to be that one, and I'm very excited to talk about that one, but if you guys have a chance to pick it up, it was really good. I really, really liked it. All right, next up, a book that takes place on a dark and stormy night. I don't think I have read one of these quite yet. I do have a thriller book in my head. I think I have it on Kindle, and it is about a big storm. So I might end up using that one, but I haven't read it yet. I haven't read any book where a storm is kind of a main focal point in a book. So that category is open for right now. Next, set in the wilderness. I did read The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This is another thriller book, and it's about a family who owns a summer camp. One of their children went missing and disappeared long before, like a decade before. And then now their child that they had after that one, who's now a teen, she has gone missing. So they're trying to figure out what happened, if it's related to the past. And yeah, it takes place in the wilderness. I think this is a pretty good one to fit in that category. And this one will be in my next reading wrap up as well. I'm pretty sure I read that one in June. All right, we only have a few more here. Transgressive Fiction, Evil Companions by D.M. Perkins. This one was just in my last video. I do believe this fits into transgressive fiction. This is about, I mean, it's just like I said before, debauchery. It's just so, these two people who meet, and it's just the crazy debaucherous shit that they get into for 200 pages. It is an interesting book. I really enjoyed it. It's vile, it's disturbing, and it definitely fits that category perfectly. I think more so than any book that I've read this year. Next, takes place in water. I do have quite a few of these. I have Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. I also read Chlorine by Jade Song. I also read Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant, but I think that one, although it is about the ocean, it doesn't necessarily take place in the ocean all that much. So I ended up going with this guy, Our Wives Under the Sea. And this one I don't think I've talked about yet. I think this will be in my next reading wrap up as well. But it's about two women who are married. One of them goes on an expedition in a submarine, and they're supposed to be gone for a few weeks, and they end up being gone for months. And when they return, when she returns to her wife, she is completely changed, and her wife sort of has to get used to the fact that whoever came back is not the same person as who left. It's a great book. It's a really great book. So yeah, I think that one fits. Although I will say takes place in water. I think I was thinking more kind of deep sea. There's not too much about the expedition in the book. It does go back and forth, but it's not a crazy amount of description about the expedition. So this one I might, if I read another water book that I feel like takes a little bit more place in the water than that one, I might replace this one. But for right now, I think it's fine. It definitely does take place in the water. It's just, you know, I might want something a little bit more. And the next one is a classic novel. Now, I have read a lot of books in the literary canon, but I don't know if I've read any that are considered, you know, the top classics of all time. So I think I'm going to leave this one open because I do have quite a few classic books that I want to get to this year. If On a Winter's Night a Traveler could probably consider it a classic, but I'm thinking the most popular classic books. So I'm going to save this one, and that is the last box in our horror bingo. I haven't looked at the thing. I haven't filled out the thing yet, so I don't know if I've even got a line. That'll be interesting to see, but I don't even care. I'm going for the whole thing. I have quite a few left, but I'm hoping I can get it done. The reason why I haven't been focusing on it though is because we're doing Summerween horror bingo over on Patreon, and so I've been much more focused trying to get those boxes ticked off because I don't have as much time to do the Summerween one as I do the whole 2026 one. So I've been a little bit more focused on that one, and then a few have crossed over and I've been able to check a few boxes off this one and that one as well. So that has been nice. But yeah, after I get a few more boxes of the Summerween checked off, I'll head on back to the 2026 bingo, and yeah, we'll try to finish out the year and try to get them all checked off. But let me know which ones you have checked off your list. Let me know if you guys are playing horror book bingo with me, and yeah, let me know which categories you have left. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with another horror video. Bye guys!